Wow, the first year for the PlayStation 5 has been amazing! We had so many good games, both exclusives and multi-platforms. But which ones were the best? Let's find out. And remember, for each game we mention, we'll have a link to the best price on Amazon in the video description below. So get ready, cause today we're going to show you the top 10 best PlayStation 5 games of 2021.
Super players.
Considered by many to just be a walking simulator, let's just say that although yes, you'll walk a lot in this game, there is so much more to it. Hideo Kojima's latest masterpiece will have you delivering the most strange cargo to some really hard-to-get places. However, not many people know that Death Stranding is also a multiplayer game, but not in your typical fashion. See, since basically most missions have you getting from point A to point B, you can build structures like bridges, ladders, or zip lines that will stay in the game temporarily to help you and other people reach those locations. And yes, you can also use structures other people have built on your own game and make it feel wonderfully dynamic. If you need to move faster, there's also vehicles like trucks and motorcycles to deliver your cargo. You can even catapult your delivery or automate it using robots. This game is just that amazing. And of course, since it was developed by the Metal Gear creator, the stealth and gunplay in this game is also top level. For PS5, the game has been released again as a director's cut version with better graphics and DualSense support. Also, new missions, weapons, vehicles, and enemies have been added. And let's not get started on the wonderful cast of actors and the amazingly convoluted story that alone will need a whole dedicated video. But for now, let's just say that if you have never played this excellent game, now might be the best time to do it. The genre of roguelike games has always been seen as a niche, because not everyone is able to handle the challenge, and they also usually have small-scale releases with indie budgets in mind. However, Returnal swims against the tide by being a fully 3D AAA game with innovative gameplay and an engaging storyline, while still being a part of the roguelike genre. Although the game originally had many technical issues that got it critically panned, it has been improved by several updates over time, and is currently one of the best games that you can play on the console. Just beware, this game can be really hard, and not everyone has the patience to handle it. Not everything has to be guns or swords, right? Well, Crash Bandicoot 4 has a refreshing and colorful look that, combined with the fun and challenging platforming, makes for a really special game. Levels have a lot of variety in their environments, enemies, and puzzles, and you can even play remixed versions of each level that are even harder than their original version, making this game perfect for replaying over and over again. The PS5 version of this game, released in 2021, runs at 4K and 60 frames per second, making it one of the best ways to play this amazing Crash Bandicoot title.
I am samurai, but I will sacrifice everything.
Ghosts of Tsushima is a game that blew everyone away, and for good reason. It has amazing graphics, a heartfelt and beautiful tale of redemption and revenge, and very fun gameplay that is the perfect mix between accessibility and challenge. The game was beloved by gamers and critics. It won several awards and received praise from the Japanese community as well. Eventually, the director's cut came to PS5 with improved visuals, load times, and frame rates, and added an all-new story expansion too, which takes players to the Iki Island for a more personal storyline and a bunch of new content. On top of all that, new features have been added for the DualSense controller too, so if you missed this gem on the PS4, or would like to play it again with many new features, now may be the perfect time to try it on the PlayStation 5.
Give it up for our hero!
Ratchet, we need your help.
While no one was against rebooting the franchise, given just how many sequels it had received over time, fans were not very happy with the changed personalities of the main characters. However, these new personalities eventually grew on everyone, and Rift Apart proved to be an amazing continuation of this new timeline, as it has breathtakingly stunning visuals, innovatively fun gameplay, and introduced new characters that were well received by fans and critics alike. The gameplay is really fun, and weapons take advantage of DualSense features like haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. It even ended up winning an award for the best visual design in 2021, and was nominated for many others. So yeah, if you ever wanted to play a game that looks and feels like a Pixar movie, this is your chance. It's hard to innovate in the first-person shooter genre because almost anything that you can think about has already been done. But games like Deathloop still manage to be unique within a very crowded industry. The game takes us in the shoes of a character who is stuck in a time loop, and his goal is to figure out what happened to his memory and how he can break this loop. Each loop has a specific amount of time, and the player can both complete their tasks and take some time off from doing that to learn new information about everything that has been going on as well. Each run is different, and knowing things that you didn't know before changes a lot more than you would expect it to. Besides, it's one of the last Bethesda games to make their way onto the PlayStation brand. If the video games based on Pixar movies were not just bad money grabbers and had the same heart and imagination as the movies themselves, maybe they would be something like It Takes Two. This game is a co-op only action-adventure game that can be played both online or locally. This game is all about teamwork, communication, and takes us through a beautiful story about love. It is filled with enough twists to keep us guessing about what comes next, and features some beautiful graphics, fluid animation, some intelligent puzzles, and a bit of action too, which is the perfect mix for a heartfelt experience that's also engagingly fun. And if all of that doesn't convince you about how good this game is, it won the All-Rounder Game of the Year award at TGA 2021. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most iconic video games of all time, and helped push the franchise into the mainstream audience, while still satisfying the long-term fans too. It was a no-brainer that the game would get remade someday, and that finally happened in 2020. The game was released to universal praise from both fans and critics alike for its beautiful art style, exciting gameplay, and a slightly expanded version of the original story that everyone loved so much. Eventually, an enhanced version of the game came out in 2021, called Intergrade, and it includes an all-new story DLC, as well as small improvements made to the game's graphics and performance along the way. It's a great way to jump into the franchise, regardless of whether you're a newcomer or someone who loved the previous games in the series. and it's definitely one of the best games released for PlayStation 5 in 2021. The skating genre was a big deal back in the day, and everyone wanted a title that had Tony Hawk's name on it for their home console. Although the craze died down after a couple of years, and fans weren't sure if they'd see another game in the series after 2015's Pro Skater 5, 2020 shocked us with a surprising return. A remake of the original games, Pro Skater 1 and 2, took everything that we've loved about the originals and combined all of that into one large game that won everyone's hearts and gave new life to a dying genre. It won several Best Sports Games awards in 2020 and 2021. So even if you don't like the sport, you may be surprised by how fun and addictive this game can really be. Before we reveal the #1 spot, here are some honorable mentions that you'll definitely want to check out. Also linked to Amazon in the video description below. Control Ultimate Edition. Chivalry 2. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Guilty Gear Strive. Disco Elysium, The Final Cut. And now the #1 spot for the best PlayStation 5 game of 2021 goes to... Winning so many Game of the Year awards, it's more than fair to say that Hades is just a masterclass on game design. Re-released on PS5 in 2021 and running at 4K and 60 frames per second, this game looks better and runs smooth on Sony's next-gen console. Hades successfully achieves a balance that combines incredible storytelling with exceptional gameplay. In this game, you're supposed to die a lot, but each time you die, you'll unlock more story and new items. This makes for a very particular and addicting gameplay loop where even if you don't succeed on finishing the game, you'll always feel like you're making progress. And since each room is dynamically generated, each time you play it, it will feel completely different. Hades is an absolutely stellar experience that will keep you hooked from the beginning, and it's definitely the best game for PlayStation 5 released in 2021.
Super players.